so glad we're together again. So I met Angie Martinez. She has this fabulous tattoo that I wanted to talk about because she is an Ironman triathlete. And we're going to talk everything about it, what it takes to finish one, and why you and I may eventually end up doing one. Glad we're together again for our tea talk. Such an important subject today. I want to talk about mindset, and I want you to meet my friend Angie Martinez.
Mucho gusto, Angie.
Hola, mucho gusto.
The phenomenal thing about her is that she is an Ironman triathlete. And when I first met her and we started talking, I was so impressed by it because I know anyone who does a triathlon or a race or a marathon, it's a mindset thing, it's a focus, it's a discipline. But then you do an Ironman on top of being a mother and being a nurse and being a professional. And I was just so curious about that subject. And then we're also of a certain age. So thanks for sitting down to talk with us, Angie.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. I'm honored.
Let's get it on the table. Explain to someone who doesn't know what an Ironman entails.
Yo, mira.
Sí, a ver, sí.
Okay,
porque hay muchas cosas. O sea, hablaste de que es maratonista y luego que ha hecho un Ironman. ¿Cuál es la diferencia del maratón y el Ironman?
El maratón son 26.2 millas corriendo.
Okay.
Solamente. Es difícil. Un maratón es muy difícil. Pero un Ironman completo, eso consiste de 2.4 millas en la natación, 112 millas en la bicicleta y luego 26.2 millas en la corrida. So, all back to back.
So it's a marathon, 26.2 miles, and then
112 miles on the bike and a 2.4 mile swim. But the swim is first. It's always swim, bike, run.
And you've done 3 of those.
And I've done 3 of those. It takes a lot of
training. How many halves? You've done how many fulls?
9 halves.
How many fulls?
And 3 fulls and 9 halves.
And then how many races overall have you done?
Ooh, countless. But I also made it to the World Championship last year in St. George, Utah for the half Ironman. I got an invite for the full Ironman, the Ironman of Ironmans, the championship Ironman. And I didn't go, I passed on it because I went with my best friend to Monterrey so she could do her first half Ironman.
O sea, tú la fuiste a entrenar casi.
Yes. So I say anyone can do it. You just need someone like me to train with you because I will push you and make you believe that you can do it. Anyone can do it.
I'm fascinated by it because it's a mindset thing.
Yes.
How long do you have to train for one of these races?
Well,
and then an Ironman on top of that.
Yeah. So if you want to do a half, I would say give yourself at least 4 to 6 months to train towards a half Ironman. But if you decide you want to do a full Ironman, you need at least a year because it takes a year to build up that endurance to be able to do that distance because it's not easy, but it's absolutely doable. You know, a lot of people do them. I'm not the only one. It's absolutely doable, and I like to tell people if I can do it, you can do it because I'm not any different than you are. It's putting in the time and training.
¿Cómo empieza ese entrenamiento? ¿Qué tipo de ejercicio haces? ¿Es nadar? ¿Es ciclismo? ¿Es correr? ¿Hay algo más que tienes que hacer? O sea, ¿tienes que hacer pesas?
Cuando hice mi primer triatlón en 2015, era un triatlón, se llama Mighty Mujer. It's an all-women's triathlon. My training consisted of Saturday mornings. We would meet at the pool, and it was very social. It's a 300-meter swim, a 12-mile bike ride, and 2-mile run. So we would meet at the pool, and we would do 1 or 2 laps and stop at the wall and chit-chat. And then, how many have you done? Oh, I've done 4. Okay, I'm going to do 8 more laps, and then I'm done. So we would literally just swim 300 meters, get out of the pool, go do the route, and then we sometimes go have breakfast, skip the run, because no one wants to run. No one wants to do the run. So then sometimes we would just skip the run and go have breakfast, and then sometimes we would run the run route. But it was very social because we would jog, we would talk, we would jog, we would talk. So for my first one, that's how I trained. And then the following year, that year I started noticing some of the girls, like, wow, you know, you start seeing people who inspire you. And I saw some of the girls on the podium, and I'm like, I want to be like her. Yes. Oh my God, I want to do that. You get that hunger for, I want that. I want to be that girl. So then the following year I trained a little more. I was more smart about my training. I did more than 300 meters in the pool. I did more than 12 miles on the bike. I trained more than just on Saturdays. I did better. I made podium the next year, and you get a taste for that, and you're like, maybe next year I could do a little better. So then I started venturing out and doing more than just that one triathlon, Mighty Mujer, which holds a special place in my heart because it was my first.
Where
and
is
that's
this
where
Mighty Mujer?
It's in El Paso. El Paso.
Aquí, localmente, donde nosotros estamos.
So that's where I got the hunger for it. And then I podiumed again. And then I started doing other races in Juarez and other little cities, like little short sprint triathlons. One year I was in line for Mighty Mujer, another young lady comes up to me and says, Angie, you got to do an Ironman with us. And I said, what is that? What's an Ironman? And she says, oh my God, it's a 1.2 mile swim, 56 mile bike ride, and a 13.1 run. And I'm like, oh, I could never. And she's like, you could, because at this point she thought, I was totally capable of it. But then in my mind, I was like, there's no way. Well, that year, it was in Tempe, Arizona. That year, it was in October. So this Mighty Mujer happens in April.
Yummy.
In October, me and a group of friends went to watch this Ironman.
Uh-huh.
And I'm there, I'm a spectator, and I'm just like, I want this. I want to do this. I want to be the one doing this. So that was in 2016. In 2017, I went with a group of friends to Austin, and we did a relay where a friend did the swim, and another friend did the bike, and I did the run because I've always been a runner, so I got the run. And just waiting for the cyclist to come into transition so that I could do my part, because you have to wait for the swimmer to finish before the cyclist takes off, and then the cyclist to come back before the runner takes off.
A lo mejor ese sí podría ser.
We could do a relay.
Or she's trying to convince us to do
But
a
I'm sitting there
triathlon.
waiting for my friend
Yeah.
Fati to come, and I'm just like, and I see all these people coming in, and at that point I'm like, I'm doing the whole thing next year. So next year I went to Monterrey, Mexico, and I did my first half Ironman, and it was great, and I'm hooked. So then in 2019 I went again and did it again, and I PR'd. So then I'm hooked.
And
so then
PR's personal record.
Yes. So then the following year I signed up for 270.3s because I'm like, I got this. And then it just ricochets from there.
It's an addiction
it's
of
an
sorts.
addiction.
Because you know you can do better.
And then you start meeting people, and I want everyone to do it because I want everyone to experience that. It's just
¿Qué es lo que
the fact that
sientes?
you can prove to yourself just how strong and how much you're actually capable of it. It's just amazing.
¿Qué sientes adentro de ti?
Te sientes tan orgullosa y lloras because it's just like, I never thought I could do that. You know, when this young woman tells me, do an Ironman with us, and she tells me what it entails, I was like, oh my gosh, there's no way. Never could I do that. And then I go and I watch it, and then your heart just, and then it's like a little seed in your head. You're like, I want this. I want to do this. And then you do it, and you prove to yourself that you can do it, and then you want more, and then you want more. And then so finally, after my fourth half, I said, I'm doing the full.
Yeah.
I'm doing the full. Because after you finish that, you've crossed that finish line, it's like, I think I could have gone a little harder. I could have done a little more. So then I'm like, I could do a full. So then you sit at the computer and you pull the trigger, and then you're like, oh, what did I just do? Am I actually going to do this? And then you just start training, and then the time passes. But of course, with training for a full Ironman, there's the risk of injury. Things happen. COVID happened, So it's scary, but it's so amazing. And then there's a red carpet at the finish line of Ironman races. So when you cross that finish line and you go through that red carpet moment, cameras everywhere, your name is on the screen up there, and your time, and you're just like, whoa, thank you, Jesus.
What it's a major accomplishment.
Yes.
As I'm listening to you talk, it's the mindset. It's like you had to convince yourself you could do
Yes.
it before, and then you did it.
You gotta push it a
Explain
little
that
bit
to me.
more each
Explain
time, right?
that to me. How it first has to click, because I think mindset's everything. Anytime
is.
anyone accomplishes anything in your life, and think about, and professionally, sports-wise, hobbies, anytime we make a decision, and it's a mindset shift. Talk about that for you when you have that.
So
click.
yes, you just, you think that you can't do it, and then one day it just like dawns on you, like, maybe I should try it. Like, what if I can? I think I can't, but what if I can? And then once that seed is in your mind, I think you just have to act upon it.
Yeah.
And that's just with anything in life. I think I'm a big believer, if like the thought came to you, it came to you for a reason.
Yeah.
So it's there for a reason. And that's just with anything in life, just like with nursing, I've been a nurse for almost 20 years, and then I had my associate degree, and then just like the little seed came to me, I'm like, I should go back to school and get my bachelor's. I went back to school and got my bachelor's. And now I'm in school for my master's, and then I have a friend kind of pushing the button saying, hey, we should go back and get our doctorate when we're done. And I'm like, Okay, does it ever end?
It doesn't.
I think you should just keep going. Why
That's what
stop?
keeps us alive.
That's what keeps us young and active.
Exactly.
And I was gonna. Well, I mean, you talked about that, but how that translates into life. I mean,
Absolutely.
that mindset and that decision. Because if you can survive an Ironman, were there times that you were like, I don't want to get up, I don't want to train, I
So
don't want to run 13
absolutely,
miles.
yes. So there's
It's cold
days
outside.
when you get up and you don't want to do it, but then you have to remind yourself, like, why are you doing it? How bad do you want it? And it all boils down to the discipline, you know. It's, you just have to be disciplined, and there's times where, you know, triathlon is a very social sport, but ultimately it boils down to you.
Yeah.
Because on race day, I can't do the race for you.
Yeah.
You know, I can train with you, but it's like, you get out of it what you put into it. So if we go out there and we train and you're just like, and you're not putting in the work or the effort or pushing yourself, come race day, you're the one that's going to suffer.
Right.
But if you put in the work, of course you're going to suffer on race day, but it's not going to suck as bad. You know, it's easier.
Pregunta muy interesante para todos nosotros. Ya no tenemos 20 años. Yo no siempre he sido la atleta perfecta. Entonces, ¿cómo nació esta idea? ¿Qué edad tenías cuando tú empezaste a practicar todo lo que te ayudó para poder hacer un Ironman?
So funny story. So high school, I ran cross country and track, you know, and I thought I was a star because, you know, I was a runner. And I can run forever. Like, I can just run. I'm not a fast runner and I'm not the greatest, but I can keep going and going and going, you know.
Like Forrest Gump.
Like Forrest Gump. You get in your zone and you just go.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to swim. I didn't have a bike. I've known how to ride a bike because, you know, who doesn't know how to ride a bike? All kids know how to ride a bike. So when one of my good friends said, hey, I'm moving back to El Paso, she lived in Florida, let's do a triathlon next year, because she knew I do 5Ks and 10Ks. I was doing a lot of 5Ks and 10Ks. She said, let's do a triathlon. It's called Mighty Mujer in El Paso. I didn't even know about it, and I live here. And I said, sure, because that's just how I am. So I sign up, and then I'm like, oh, I don't even have a bike. So then I ended up borrowing a bike from someone. We went to the pool to swim because she says, you know how to swim, right? And I'm like, yeah, I know how to swim. Like, I can stay afloat, but I didn't know how to swim laps.
Yeah.
So we go to the pool and I'm like swimming with my face out of the water, you know. And I thought I was doing great. So my first triathlon, I didn't have my face in the water. I was just with my face out, waving at everyone, you know. And then I realized, oh, this isn't the way you do it. You gotta like actually streamline. You gotta have proper form. So then I started taking classes at UTEP, you know, adult swim courses.
Oh, wow.
In the evenings. Yeah. And Coach Miguel, who's my daughter's swim coach now, he taught me how to properly swim, how to, you know, breathe right to left. And I learned as an adult how to swim. And so if I can do that as an adult, like anyone can do it, right? Because I'm not a teenager, but I learned. It's totally doable.
Following up on what she was saying, like, were you always an athlete? But what about for someone? I mean, they're listening to us talk and they think I'm too old to do it, or I've never been an athlete, or we're trying to convince Karina to do a triathlon. For some of that, because
not necessarily.
It's intimidating as just a natural person, a normal person, normal person. It can be intimidating.
It is intimidating, and it's scary. It's scary to walk up to, you know, to the pool by yourself to do your laps. But then, like I said, triathloning is just such an inviting sport. Yeah. It's such a social sport. You will make so many friends. You get hooked,
right? Anyone I
get
know.
Hooked. But no, you don't have to be an athlete. I ran in high school, but I didn't run always. Mm-hmm. After high school, I was in college. I had 4 kids. You know, you don't have time for that. And it's just like, I think after I had my 4th child and I, you know, thought, okay, I need to start taking care of myself because, you know, I was a little fluffy and I didn't like that. Because I've always been tall and not necessarily thin, but I wasn't, you know. But after my 4th child, your body changes. The 4th one ruins it all. So then I was like, I have to do something about this. So I started running. I started signing up for 5Ks. I did lots of 5Ks and then moved up to 10Ks, and then you run a lot of 10Ks, and one day you're just like, I should do a half. Then you do a half and you're like, I think I could do a full. And then you go and do a full. So it just is a continuation. And I always think, like, when does this end? Because I feel like I want more. Like, there's more out there than Ironman, right? So I'm like, what else can I do? So now I mountain bike, I trail run, and there's an actual race that's called an Xterra, which is a mountain biking triathlon where you swim in a lake, you mountain bike, and then you trail run. So guess what? That's on my bucket list now. I want to do an Xterra because it just doesn't end.
And you're 45 years old. So I want to throw the age out there because
I'm 45.
I think
eso te inspira. Saber que en determinadas edades todavía puedes.
My best friend is 56, you guys. 56. She did her first half Ironman last year.
Age is
and
just
she's
a number.
Hooked. She did 4 halves last year.
That's what the message I think that for me, and I'm always looking for, like, don't get bogged down on age or you're too old. We get to decide.
You just need a good friend. A good friend to make you believe in yourself, make you believe you can do this, to be there with you, to train with you, to be with you at the finish line, someone to motivate you. You don't want somebody dragging you down and telling you, oh, I don't think you can do this. Because there are friends who are going to tell you, when you tell them, I signed up for an Ironman, oh, I don't know, man. I don't know if you can do that. And you're just like, oh, God, I don't need that doubt. I don't need that self-doubt.
Yeah.
You know, you need someone to build you up.
Absolutely. Well, people are projecting their own insecurities. People are projecting their own insecurities.
I think anyone can do it.
Yeah.
I think you can do it.
Describe to me when you're in the middle of a race. Like you
you're
got
in your
done
head.
with a bike, and then, you're done with a swim, then you go to the bike, and then you're like, I still have a marathon to run.
You're in your head.
What are the things that you're telling yourself as you're in the process of running that race?
So you're always in your head, always, always, always. If you do the training, you got this. So when I'm in the swim, I just tell myself, just get on land, get on land. I'm not the greatest swimmer. I learned as an adult, so I'm not fast, but there are cutoffs. So there's a time cutoff for the swim. So I just tell myself, just meet that cutoff, just meet that. And I tell everyone that, like, don't be hard on yourself because it's scary getting in that water. Once
Is it
you're
open
in there,
water?
Most of them are open water.
Ooh.
Ay, qué miedo.
Sí, yo sé.
Ocean, lakes, you know. I did Escape from Alcatraz this summer.
No, in San Francisco.
And that's in San Francisco, the San Francisco Bay Area, and that was another bucket list. Like I said, it never ends. Like, you just want more. I saw that race one day, and I said, I'm going to do that race one day. I did it this summer.
Acabo de ver durante este verano en Shark Week que la mayoría de los ataques de tiburón pasan ahí con la gente que está haciendo triatlones.
Ni los tiburones me quisieron. I survived.
So Dina, you're going to get in that water. Tell me.
Yeah,
so
you're thinking in your mind, you're swimming, people are passing you, you're getting smacked in the head or kicked in the face. It's a free-for-all. Like in the swim, it's like no one knows who you are, so they just think they can just smack you around, and you just got to keep going. Exactly. But in your head, you're just like, I've done the training. You just have to motivate yourself. I've done the training. I got this. Don't get discouraged. Don't freak out. Don't hyperventilate. Just get in your zone and go. You got this. Sighting, you're watching for these buoys because you have to stay on course for the swim so that you do the distance. Once you're on land, it's game. You get on your bike and you just go. You get in your zone and you're just like passing some of the people that passed me on the swim and probably some of the people that smacked me. But it's okay because, now I'm on my bike and I'm good. Then once you rack your bike and you're ready to go do the run, I always tell myself, we're done. It's run and done. It's run and done, baby, because I've got the run. If I have to walk it, it's okay. I'm done.
Wow.
Because you can run it or you can walk it, you can crawl it, whatever you want to do, but you're done, right? Because you just have to do, if it's a 13.1 mile, it's nothing. And same on the Ironman.
Me encanta como dice 13 miles, 13.1 is nothing.
But if you put the training and you put the time in, it's like, to you, it's like I'm an inch away from finishing.
Yeah.
Literally, like I'm already there. And you can hear the spectators, and it's just, I can't explain, you guys, the experience. You got to do it at least once in your lifetime. I say do a half Ironman at least once, and if you don't love it, then I'm just crazy because it's a beautiful experience.
Well, yes, because she did my IV. I was getting hydrated. And
she recognized my necklace. I had a necklace on.
Yeah, she had an Ironman necklace on. And then when I left, she somehow I'm going to do a triathlon this spring, and she's going to train me. Yes, I committed to it.
Pati's going to do it.
Yeah, I told her I've told her yes, she's going to train me. I'm going to buy a bike because I'm turning 50.
Pati's going to do a 70.3. I'm telling you that right now.
Let me do the sprint one.
She will.
Let me get the Mighty Mujer down. But she was convincing me to, and I'm like, wait, let me do one. But I've had that on my bucket list, and I'm going to be 50, and I thought, I can do it. And I am an athlete. I'm a good swimmer. I swam when I was little. The bike's probably, and then I can run. I'm going to wrap my knees or something. But she convinced me because she's so inspiring and motivating that I was
and
like,
yes. And then you hear the announcer when you cross that finish line. Pati Bowling, you are an Ironman.
Oh.
And you're just like,
because it's a huge accomplishment.
Yes. I mean, God.
You do that, like you said, you do it by yourself.
Who doesn't want that?
Those days where you don't want to get up.
Yes.
Those days.
And that's what I was saying. It's a social sport, but there are days where friends will flake on you, and they'll say, "Yeah, I'll meet you in the morning at 5:30," and you show up at 5:30, and crickets. There's no one there, and you're just like, "Okay, well, you got to go," because who's going to suffer on race day? You. Yeah. I love my friends, but a lot of them will flake on you when it comes to training. They want to do it, but they don't want to put in, they're not as disciplined as you, and they don't want to put in the effort because maybe they're not doing that race with you. And there are some that are doing the same race with you, but maybe to them it's not as important as it is to you, or they're not going for, a PR, or they just don't want to push themselves as hard, and that's okay. We all have different goals. We all have different, paces. Yeah. And I always tell myself, it's your race, your pace. You don't have to keep up with somebody because they're faster. It's your race, your pace. You do it at your pace, and I'm not out to win gold medals or anything. I just want to finish.
Well, they're personal goals.
The best thing about it is not to lose. It's fun, and don't lose that, because some people get so competitive that they get lost in the fact that it's fun. It's a fun sport. But if you get hooked on being on podium at every single race, and when you don't podium, you're upset, you've lost it. That's not what it's all about. You've got to just enjoy it. It's all fun.
For podium, how many places?
So it's overall, the first, second, and third overall, and then age groups. So all the age groups get, first, second, and third.
And so the Mighty Mujer, obvio, es por las mujeres.
Yes, and it's the most empowering race because it's
do
all girls.
So Karina should do it. Tell her why she should do it.
It's all girls, and every year you get out there and you see who the beginners are, and I like to be inclusive. I like to include people. This year I trained, I want to say, like 4 or 5 girls that did it for their first time.
Wow.
I like doing that because I like them to see that they can do it. And it's scary. Yes, it's scary. But it's the fear of the unknown, and then you do it, and you're like, heck yeah, I can do this.
Look, you even have the Ironman tattoo. Is that? Look at her Ironman tattoo.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Oye, y bueno, ¿qué tipo de bicicleta se tiene que utilizar para
a road bike? You don't have to have a tri-bike. If you wanted to do a full Ironman, I would say go get a tri-bike. But even for halves, you could do a road bike.
Bueno, puede ser la eléctrica.
You can't use an electric bike. You don't need it. You'll train with me and you won't need it.
And she said she wants a little boat to take her. You're going to do it, Karina.
Listen.
Wait, she made a funny comment before we started rolling. She said, the only place I run, tell them where you run to.
Yo no corro ni al baño. Y la única manera de que yo corro es cuando llega la troca de FedEx con las cajas de lo que compré. Y veo que viene llegando mi esposo, corro a esconder las cajas.
She's hiding the FedEx boxes from her husband. She runs to the,
You get some FedEx.
What did you buy now?
What did you buy now? No, we're going to get you running. Yeah, we're going to work on her. Tell me how this has affected you personally as well, like doing these races and the belief in yourself, how it translates for you that I can do anything. I mean,
you can. I think once you do an Ironman and you get through that, it's just, what can't I do? Who can stop me now?
It's awesome. It's awesome to feel
I'm
that
a Wonder
way.
Woman.
Sí, exactamente.
No,
Así
I'm serious. It's just, it's just a good feeling to be able to do something that you thought you would never ever be doing, had never even crossed my mind. And I'll always remember that, and I'm thankful to that girl who came up to me and said, hey, you should do an Ironman. And I didn't know what it was, and I just thought, I could never, because she planted that seed.
Yeah.
And I hope I'm doing that for you guys.
You planted it in
because
mine.
Because once you have that seed, then there's no stopping you.
It's been a bucket list of mine. I've always found reasons not to, or excuses or whatever, but I need to just do it, and I'm going to do it. But it is intimidating. It
It
is. I'm
is.
glad I feel like
is.
you came into my life like I'm turning
It's
50.
the fear of the unknown. We all have that. Just walking in here today. I've
Yes.
never done this. You know, it's scary. But
How much
there's
fun is
nothing
it?
we can do. It's super fun. I'm loving it.
What
I'm
advice
loving
do
it.
you get? I mean, you inspired me, you motivated me. She's so positive, right?
Absolutely.
Other
Me
women
encanta.
where you meet, no, and how you motivate and inspire other women, because
But
I
you
feel
also
it
meet
translates.
other women
yes.
that are up and above, and you think, right? They're so high up above me. I want to be like her. But then you got to stop and think, we're the same. We're all the same.
Yes.
We all want, right? We all have dreams. We all have desires.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing that we can't achieve or accomplish. And I think if we
Right.
just stick together and help each other, like I have this thing with like people not wanting to share training tips, training advice. Like, how do you do it? What do you use? What helps you? Nothing. I'm a natural. I'm just perfect. Guess what? It takes nothing from me to help
That's right.
you,
That's
or
right.
to help you, or to share with you what's helped me. Not want to say like to get where I am, but you know, to be where I started and to where I'm at. It has taken some work and some
Yeah.
time, and it doesn't take anything from me to share that with you, or to
Yeah.
say, hey, come train, let's do it, because I know that you can do it. It's not going to take away from
Right.
what I've done or what, you know, you're going to do. You could possibly go above and beyond what I've done, and good, I wish you would, because then that would be like, holy cow, you know, I had a part in that, right?
Claro, no.
I had a part in that, because
Um,
I can think that I'm an inspiration to you. I would hope to
Well,
inspire someone
You were an
along the way.
inspiration to me. I mean, first of all, doing a sprint one, just doing it, check. But also in that, like I said, that mindset and that shift and that decision that set a challenge, set a goal, and meet it, and the discipline it takes to get there. And I
That's
think
right.
that,
Discipline.
Setting the goal.
Yeah.
Just set a goal and,
that
go for
that's
it.
with anything I've ever done in my life. And as you know, especially races and health-wise, to me, it's a mindset shift.
Yeah.
You make a decision that I'm going to do this because I'm going
You
to do this.
set a goal and you never look back.
And
And
you
it's so
tune-
hard because
yeah.
when you sit at that computer and you're like, okay, I'm going to sign up. You put all the information in, and once you click register, you're like, whoo, what did I just do? Okay,
Me comprometí.
there's
a
no
hacerlo.
turning back, right?
Exacto.
There's no turning back. You just
Exacto.
got to commit and go with it. Go with the flow, baby. Go with
And
the
I
flow.
said it here publicly, and we're
Yes.
going to get Karina on board
Yes.
too.
Karina's gonna do it.
Bueno, pues vamos viendo, dijo un ciego.
El que no ve.
El que no ve, no siento, whatever the
Vamos
sí.
viendo, pero qué padre que
Sí.
trajiste a Angie, que me dijiste, la tienes que conocer,
Sí, no.
que la invitaste.
I'm glad you
Porque-
invited me. Thank you.
Porque una persona muy positiva, das muy buena vibra,
Thank
Yes.
me
you.
encanta, y a lo mejor, y si me animo.
Si te animas.
¿Eh?
I think she'll be doing it with
Me
us. What do
too.
you say?
Ay,
Yeah, you
We'll
will.
see. Thanks, Angie.
And then we'll do a
Gracias.
half Ironman at some point. Hey.
vamos, sí.
Yeah, tune in for that and to see if Karina decides to do it or not.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Gracias.
Thank you.